So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna do some research, see if I can find anybody with an oil pump that has one today. All right, y'all. So you see, we out here this silver 300. Welcome to what may be part 7, part 8. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna show y'all what exactly is going on with this car. Let's go. As y'all remember, I was trying to figure out why my car wouldn't start. And if you haven't, I need you to go back into the videos and watch what's going on so you can catch yourself up. But let me explain to y'all what's going on. At first, I had rust in the cylinders. That's a clear indication that something's wrong. It wouldn't turn over. It just stopped running. Those are clear indications that something is wrong. Now, with that being said, I said, let me take off the valve cover and let me see if all my stuff moves. Well, all of those move. Everything. Every last push rod, every last rocker arm, every last valve spring, everything moves. But what was weird was that there was smoke coming out of the ports. Everything over here and everything over there was smoking. Well, what is that from? Well, usually that just means there's no oil. When I took the heads off, there was no oil in the heads. Usually when you take the heads off, the heads are supposed to be covered in oil. That wasn't happening. That wasn't the case, and that's not what's happening now. So that led me to believe that my oil pump was pretty much toast. And I'm going to show you what the inside of my oil pump looks like. This here is my old oil pump. Now, first of all, look at it. That's number one. It's dry. It's not supposed to be dry. It's supposed to be somewhat lubricated. That's number one. Number two. Now, as y'all can see, that's bone dry. Definitely not supposed to be dry. So, well, that'll present a problem. Well, let's see. It moves. It definitely moves. But it's not pumping anything at all. It is not pumping anything. So, my next step was to check the oil pickup tube to see if that was blocked. Well, this is how I did that. There's liquid there. You can clearly see that, right? Well, let's try. Let's pick it up. Liquid goes away, put it down, liquid comes back. So the pickup tube, that's not blocked. Well then, what else could it be? Well, let's see. We've got a pickup tube that's not blocked, but we've got an oil pump that's bone dry. But what does that mean? Well, that is what caused these heads not to be lubricated. Now, that would stop an engine from starting if it were locked. If the pistons and piston rings scored and melted themselves to the interior of the cylinder walls. But clearly, that has not happened. So, I guess the next thing would be to check the timing. And as y'all know, I've checked the timing. I've reset the timing. I don't know, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times now so far. Recently just reset it. Still didn't start. So, what else does that mean? Let's check behind the timing. And this is where we come to the problem. Let's take a look. Timing chain. Timing chain's all fine. Everything is fine with the timing chain, right? Sprocket. Sprocket is fine. Nothing's wrong there. Nothing is wrong there. Wait a minute. What's that? Is that metal? That's not a flat even surface, is it? Let me show you why. Well, if you look here, this here is the camshaft. Let's take a closer look. You see that? That's metal. Now, ask yourself, why would there be metal transfer from a camshaft onto the cam gear? Maybe from it being too hot, maybe from it, I don't know, overheating, but it never did. Let me show you what happened. I still can't see what happened. What is that? Can you see it now? See? Now, as most of you know, there's supposed to be a dowel pin there, but it's not at all. It's sheared off. Now, you might be wondering, what would cause a dowel pin to shear off? Well, these dowel pins are made of steel, first of all. They're very short, and they're put under a lot of pressure, from when the crank rotates to when the cam rotates, and all the compression force that is put under. But it's made to last, but it's also made to break, just in case something else goes wrong. Now let's break down what happened. Oil pump stopped pumping oil, which in turn causes everything else to damn near bind up, which could cause rust in the cylinders. Now what does that mean? That means something has got to give, or else something else that's even bigger will break. So what gave away? The cam dowel pin. What does that mean? The crank is aligned, number one, set top dead center, but this cam, no matter how I put that timing mark, straight up, straight down, left or right, it was not timed. Why? Because you see how the dowel pin is sitting that way. That's almost 180 degrees, which is a whole stroke off of where it's supposed to be timed. So therefore, it was technically a degreed cam in the wrong aspect. So what does this mean? I've got to remove the cam. I've got to take it to the machine shop so they can take out that pin and press in a new one, because they're the same size as a 5.7 cam, no matter if it's a 6.1 cam. So let's get that started. So with all of that being said, I am going to go to Harbor Freight and buy a whole bunch of these little magnets, right? And what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to reach inside the push rod hole, stick it on there, so the cam does not fall. Because see, well, I have 200K on my car. What that means is that the higher the mileage, the less likely your lifters are to stay up within the bores if you rotate the camera out. So I'm just going to take the push rods out, take the rocker arms off, place that magnet set into each hole, hold up the lifters, take out the cam, which of course, yet again, that means taking out the radiator again, but I'm okay with that because, well, the system's already open. So let's get to it. This timing plate, as y'all all know, should be able to just pop off. Look at that. There's no bolts in there. Yep. That's messed up. And this is why the magnets are needed. Listen. That's the lifter up. That's the lifter on the cam. Tool paradise.
Must be a group project.
You would think, but it's a one-man situation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Look at requires all of those, and it's
What are you doing?
taking a cam out, but instead of taking off the heads and replacing the gaskets and the head bolts, I'm just taking off the push rods and sticking them through the holes so I can hold up the lifters. So saves me a lot of money.
Heck yeah.
So.
$66.62.
66? Is that right? $3.99? Holy crap.
Yeah. 16 items.
Wow, that's a lot. Oh, okay. All right then. That's
15. So that's 40. That's 60 some dollars.
Yeah, man, that's insane. Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Thank you.
All right.
I cannot believe I just spent $60 on some magnets. Alright, well, I'm back from the store. Spent $60 on some magnets. I had to take the cooling fan out. I just pushed it up because it rained, and then dropped down the radiator. Pull the cam out. Let's get to it. Pretty much got almost everything out of the way. I should be able to get the cam out with that down just far enough, and alternator cool the fans off. What I'm going to do is, this is the plan, is to attach it to the lifter and then draw some tape around it to hold it steady. And with it being 2, I should be able to attach the tape to the tape. That way it has a bonding surface. So let's hope this works. Let's give it a shot. Alright, so this is the setup to hold the lifters up. I pretty much got each one wrapped around, and then wrapped around another one, and then after that I wrapped it around the whole head on both sides. So I'm hoping this holds. I'm really scared because I do not want it to fall into the block. That would suck. So let's try and take this cam out really, really carefully. Well, it's getting kind of late, but as usual, with a little struggle and a little tug, the cam came out. See? Look at that. The method I chose to use is working so far. It is working so far. It was actually pretty hard to get it out at first. It would only come out maybe about that much at first, and then, you know, I kept messing with it, put some WD-40 on that first bearing right there, and it gave it a little play. So it's out. Let's show the damage. Oh wait, I can't show you the damage because the daggone bolt is stuck in there now. Let me get that out first. Alright, so that is the damage right there. Yeah, so far that is the damage right there. Look at it, clean flush, there's nothing poking out, nothing. So take this to the shop, let them fix that, and stick it back in. Alright, well, if y'all look inside this here cam hole, you can see the bearings, and they are still somewhat in good shape. They're not bad at all, actually. The silver that you see off to the left, all the way down to the back where the freeze plug is back there, that is in fact every single lifter on both sides of the engine, all the way down.